So, if I had to, this is the form I want you to put it into. Okay, right there, you're done. That's all my possible factors. If I wanted to show you exactly what numbers we were going to try synthetically, I could have what? A positive 1, a negative 1. What else could I have?
Positive 3 over 2, negative 3 over 2.
A positive 3 halves, a negative 3 halves. Anything else?
Positive or plus or minus 3 over 1.
Okay, so a plus 3 and a negative 3.
Why aren't you writing a plus?
Okay, why am I writing a plus?
No, never mind.
Okay, those are technically the 6 numbers you could get to use synthetically to give you your answers. Now, what numbers up there can we cross off right away because we never want to use?
Fractions.
Our fractions. Not saying that they're not going to be an answer. There possibly might be an answer, but we don't want to use them synthetically because we don't like working with fractions because it only gives us a ton more fractions back. Alright? So that means I got to choose between 1, negative 1, 3, and this should be a negative 3. And a negative 3 as my possible things. So next we got to do what? Use synthetic division and list all my factors. So now, what number up there do you want to try, Marielle, to use for synthetic division? 1, negative 1, 3, or negative 3? Which one do you want to try? She says positive 1. So I have a positive 1 here. That's going to be my synthetic division. It's going to be what? 2, 3, negative 8, and a positive 3. Whenever I do synthetic division on the board with you people, you all know how to do it now. I'm going to go kind of fast because I'm not going to waste a ton of time doing synthetic division on the board when I know you all know how to do it. Alright? So when I go fast with synthetic division, don't all start freaking out and think, oh, it's going to go so fast I can't keep up. Okay? I'll slow down, but during the synthetic division part, I'm going to go kind of fast. Alright? Are you ready? Action, right. 2, 2, 5, 5, negative 3, remainder is 0. Alright? So, when that tells me that I have a remainder of 0, what does that tell me?
That all fits.
That 1 is a solution. Because it goes in there evenly. 1 is a solution. So therefore, use my synthetic division and list all my factors. Do I know one factor right now?
What do you mean it goes in there evenly? Like,
it goes in there evenly, right? I don't have a remainder. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 4 is the divisor of 12 because it doesn't have a remainder. It goes into it evenly, right? So I know that 1 will go into this evenly because it has a remainder of 0. Okay, 1, what do we call 1? 1 is a what? It's a what?
Prime.
No. What is it to my problem here? What would we call it? What is a solution? It's also an x-intercept, it's also a 0, it's also a root. Right? From that number, I can get my what? My factors. What factor comes from a positive 1?
Negative 1. Wait, x minus 1.
What factor comes from? Think about what we do up here, people. My last page I was on. When I had the number 0, what does a factor look like? My factor's in what form? Binomial form. What binomial comes from a positive 1?
X minus 1.
Thank you. X minus 1. That's factor form. This is what? Solution form. Okay? That's factor form. Now, by doing that, I have here left, I have a constant. I have, what's here? X. I have
X squared.
X squared. So technically I've got 2 x squared plus 5x minus 3. Now, we have 2 choices. First choice is what I'm always going to do. Okay, this is what I'd always do. We all know how to factor down trinomials, right? So use your way to factor down trinomials. If I do that, I'm going to come here, multiply that. That gives me what? X squared plus 10x minus 6.
plus 5x.
Oh, 5x. I don't know where I get 10x. Okay? So that gives me my binomial down here below. I got x and x. What are my signs going to be? Plus and minus. Okay? My factors of 6 will be 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Since my signs are opposite, I'm thinking what factors of 6 will I subtract to give me 5? which would be what?
6 and 1.
6 and 1. The 6 has got to be what?
Positive.
Positive, and the 1 has got to be negative. Because I multiplied by 2 at the beginning, I have to do what? Divide by 2. So now that tells me I got x plus 3. 2x. And I've got 2x minus 1. So for my factors, I have x plus 3, and I've got 2x minus 1. But if I multiply them all together, what am I going to get back? I'd be getting polynomial. I've broken that polynomial down into its smallest form. I can't break it down anymore. Now for my solutions, I'd have what? A positive 1. What else? Negative 3. What else? Positive 1/2. Okay, those are the 3 things you're going to have there. So these are your solutions, or my zeros, or my roots, or my x-intercepts. These are my factors. Now, if you truly hate doing this, what could have you have done?
Solve for x.
If you truly hate factoring, let's say you bombed last test, you really still don't get factoring. You hate it with a passion, even though you should know how to do it by now. You hate it with a passion. What else could have we done?
Plug it into our calculator.
Can't. Nope.
You
No.
solve for x, you can move the is it the constant over to 0?
But then you don't want to do that. You could do, what did you do before? What did you use before?
Long division?
Synthetic division. So you use synthetic division again. Remember, you have all your constants up here. You have your possible zeros. You've done it once, so now do it again. What 0 do you want to use?
3.
Okay, you use a positive 3. Good guess. If I use that again, I have 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 5 plus 6
11.
is 11. It gives me a negative 33. That gives me a big remainder, so I know 3 does not work. So you're like, oh, well, crap, well, 3 doesn't work. Maybe negative 3 works. So then I bring my 2 down. I get a negative 6, negative 1, a positive 3. Oh, my remainder equals 0, so now I know a negative 3 works. So if I know negative 3 works, I know my factor is x plus 3. But I got stuff here, ready, right? This is my constant, this is my x. 2x minus 1. Ah, well, that's another factor, and therefore my 0 is a positive 1/2. So if you want to do synthetic division, people, you keep doing it that way. I myself would rather factor down because I know how to do it. I think it's easier. The reason why this might not always work out is because you might, later on, tomorrow, you will have the use of complex numbers as your answers.
Tomorrow.
And if you have one complex number, you actually have 2 complex numbers. And you know complex numbers never show up in your graph because you're looking for intercepts, and complex numbers don't show up in your coordinate plane.
So what
So
you're
therefore, doing it factoring may be better in the long run.
So what you're saying is all you need to do is find one that works, and you could get everything else just from that one.
If it's a degree of 3.
If-
I could give you a degree that has 6, which means you're going to have 6 answers, right? But when you break it down one time, then you do it to the degree of 5, which means you got to do synthetic again, until you get to that trinomial, where then you can factor down to 2 binomials.
We're gonna do
Yes.
Alright, I get everything, I get how you get the factors of the constant and the factors of the leading coefficient. or
Okay,
whatever.
the possible zeros?
Yeah,
Okay.
how do you get the black part where you go off?
Okay, the black part was, okay, these are all the possible ones. I wrote them out so if someone was confused of exactly what number. For example, I got a positive 1 because 1 divided by 1 is a positive. 1 divided by a negative 1 is a negative. Then I have here, I don't not only have 3 divided by 1, but I also have 3 divided by 2. That gave me a positive 3/2 and a negative 3/2. Then it gave me a positive 3 and a negative 3, and I forgot one, because I should have up here a positive 1/2 and a negative 1/2.
Okay.
So technically we had 8 numbers, 8 possible zeros, but only 3 of them truly worked. But we had 8 possible zeros. I forgot to write down the 1/2 and negative 1/2.
Oh.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, so from there you just plug it into the,
This tells us which ones I can try guessing to go into here. We got lucky and the first one worked. We're gonna have some bigger ones where you try one
doesn't work.
and doesn't work. You have to go on. Or we're gonna have some big ones where you have like maybe 20 different numbers up here. and then you gotta keep trying to get the first one to work. Hopefully that breaks it down to a time where you can factor it down. Because you have so many possible zeros. Okay? Alright, let's do another one. Alright, let's do one more here. Alright, we'll try this one, see if it works. I have no idea if this is going to work or not, so we'll see. 3x to the 4th is the tough one. 3x to the 4th minus 11x cubed. And if it doesn't work, I'm just kind of going off this man. Minus x squared plus 19x plus 6. Alright, so when I look at this, what's my degree? 4. So that means I'm going to have how many zeros? I'm going to have 4 zeros. The first thing I have to do is my what?
Where do you get 4?
List all possible.
Where do I get what?
Oh, degree, okay.
Whatever your degree is tells you how many answers or solutions you're going to have. Okay, so you should have technically 4 factors too. Alright? So now, factors of my constant would be what? Plus and minus 1, plus and minus 6, plus and minus 2, plus and minus 3, all divided by the factors of my leading coefficient, which would be
3.
plus and minus 1, plus and minus 3. Okay? So now look at my possibilities, what I have up here. I have positive 1, negative 1, positive 1/3, negative 1/3. And you don't have to write this down, of course. Plus 6, minus 6, plus 2, minus 2, plus 2/3, negative 2/3, plus 3, negative 3. If I already have plus 1, do I have to go plus 1 again? No, if you have 1, 1, you have another one, right? Okay. So we have probably about almost 5. You have more than 5.
Well, total.
No, you have more than that. You got 1, negative 1,
Oh,
6,
my bad,
negative
my bad.
6. You got
10.
2 negative. Okay, we have close to 10.
10.
So we have 10 possibilities besides my fractions I could plug into there. Okay, alright, so we have a lot of possibilities. Okay, so now the guess, what you got to do is, so this is your answer, this here is your answer for the first part. That's all your possible zeros. Those are my possible zeros. You're done. That's all you got to do.
I'm still confused with like how you get the top numbers. Like one, like I know how you got 1, 2, and 3, but 6.
You know how I got 6? It's the factors of my constant. What are the factors of 6?
Oh, okay, so 2, 3, 6. Oh,
2, 3, 1, and 6, right? 1 times 6 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6. That's your factors of your constant.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, alright? So we go plus and minus because you could have positive 1 times a positive 6 equals 6. You also have a negative 1 times a negative 6
Right.
also equals 6. Okay? Alright, so this is your answer to your first part. If they ever ask for the possible zeros, you're done. All your possible zeros. Okay? My next part is use synthetic division to list all the factors. So now we got to break that down a little bit, right? Jordan, which one do you want to choose? Guessing game begins. Which one do you want to choose? 1. Bad choice on this one. 3, negative 11, negative 1, 19, and 6. And remember, when you're doing synthetic division, you have to account for each zero. So they skip an x squared, or they skip an x, you got to account for that 0 in there. Okay, all right. So we do synthetic division. Bring down the 3. That's 3. That's a negative 8. That's a negative 8. Negative 9. Negative 9. 10. That gives you a 10. That gives me a remainder of 16. And anytime I have a remainder, is that a factor?
No.
No. Alright, so good choice with the 1.
Can I go again?
No. Alright, so I'm going to put a 1 up here. I'm going to mark it off so I don't use it again. Alright, which one do you want to check now, Jordan?
Second, go
I know I lied.
2.
No. 6.
6, he says. Alright, now we're trying 6. Okay, so I bring down my 3, 18. It gives me a 7. It gives me a 42. That gives me a 41. That gives me a positive 246. Do you think I'm gonna have a remainder?
No.
Yep. Good job, Jordan. I guess I'll be skipping you.
Yeah.